This is the Bugaboo Bee Plus, and we wanted to give a general overview of some of the areas that can go wrong with this stroller, as well as some maintenance tips and tips for use. Starting from the top, the mechanism here that adjusts the height of the handle is the same as on the Chameleon 3 and is different from previous versions of both models in that the plate inside this mechanism functions differently. On the plate itself is a small tag that slots into notches here on the handle itself in order to adjust the height. And if one misuses the stroller, that is to say uses it with a child that's too heavy for it and drags the stroller up and down stairs or drives too much over terrain, that tag can wear down and thus will no longer slot into the notches and hold the handle in various positions. If this occurs, you can open up the mechanism here where the screw is and replace the entire plate with the tag on it. Moving down on the stroller to the back end, the brakes function with a bar that slots into the wheels, and this bar can bend, as can the bar that holds the back wheel in place here. If either of these bars bend just a little bit, it's usually possible to bend them back into place. If not, then you might need to replace the back wheels themselves. On the front wheels, there can often be problems with the ball bearings in the wheel itself, and in order to switch out the ball bearings, you'll need to remove this axle, which you can just screw out, and then you can replace those ball bearings. I've had a couple of customers who have managed to break plastic elements on the front wheels as well, and if this occurs, then those can also be switched out. Otherwise, it is possible to buy entire replacement front wheels. The most common area of problem on the Bugaboo Bee is the seat itself, and this is because there are many complex mechanisms in here, as well as running along the inside of the back up to this handle that are made of plastic, and the plastic can of course break, and thus the mechanisms won't function properly anymore. And it is possible to switch out these parts if you can get access to them. Another area that can often have problems on the seat itself is the bottom part of the seat, which can break, especially if you're using the stroller with a child who's too heavy for it, or you are not making sure that the seat is locked down into place when you have it slotted onto the frame. Some general tips for maintenance. It's important to oil the mechanisms on the stroller, in particular the mechanism here, as well as its corresponding area on the stroller itself. You can use silicone spray, that's what's recommended by Bugaboo, or else WD-40. You can also oil in the mechanisms here that affect the collapse of the stroller itself. It's important to remember that this stroller is meant predominantly as a travel stroller and not for regular use in rough conditions, such as rough terrain, or if you live in a cold area in the middle of winter through deep snow, you don't want to be using the stroller. But in the summertime, and particularly in city conditions, and using it with a child who follows the proper weight requirements for the stroller, then it can be a very nice stroller to use. It's one of the more user-friendly and comfortable travel strollers on the market. As usual, please leave any questions or comments below.